Hello students, today we will start with the purification of the colloidal solutions. The first process which we'll use here, it is the process of dialysis. Okay, see, dialysis, it is the process of separating the impurity particles of true solution dimension. The particles, if the particles of true solution dimensions are present here in the sol, these are purified from the impure sol by the means of diffusion. Those impurity particles which have dimensions of true solution, they pass through this parchment or the cellophane bag. It passes through it. It comes here in the water, get dissolved with water, and the pure colloidal sol, it remains here in the bag. Okay, this is how the process of dialysis works here. And since it is a very slow process, so if we have to speed up the process, we use the process that is called electrodialysis. Actually, it is the same, only here two electrodes are fitted, one here and one here, and obviously this is connected with the battery. And when under the influence of the electric field, the impurity ions, they move faster in the oppositely charged electrodes, and the process, it gets quickened. So this is how we can separate the smaller true solution particles, or the particles which have the dimension of the true solution, from the colloidal particles. Now second one is the ultrafiltration. See, the colloidal particles, they can easily pass through ordinary filter paper, so we cannot use ordinary filter paper to filter the colloidal particles. So that ordinary filter paper, it is treated with gelatin, and which is followed by hardening, and hardening, it is done with the formaldehyde solution. So the filter papers, then we get, they are called ultra filters, and the purification which is done with ultra filters, it is called ultrafiltration. Okay, so see how it works. This is the apparatus where impure sol, it is put in the apparatus from here. This impure sol is present over here. Okay, this darkened line, it is the ultra filters. This darkened line, it is ultra filter, which is supported on a mesh, and when gas under pressure, it is applied here, the impurity particles from this sol, they come over here, and the ultra filtrate that is containing impurities, it comes out from here. It means the sol which we will obtain here will be a purified one. So this is done by using the ultra filters, that's why it is called ultrafiltration. Now the next process is ultracentrifugation. See, centrifugation is a machine in which the particles or the colloidal sols, they are rotated under high speed, and the colloidal sol, see, to be purified, it is rotated in a specially designed very high speed instrument, and that instrument, it is called ultracentrifuge. And due to that, when they are rotated in that on that machine, due to that, the colloidal particle, they get settled down at the bottom. This is how we can separate the colloidal solutions. Now the properties of colloidal solution. First we will study the general physical properties, like the first is heterogeneity. Means actually the colloidal sol, the dispersed phase and the dispersion medium, they are heterogeneous with each other. Okay, see, second one is visibility. Actually they visible homogeneous, but actually the particles, they appear homogeneous, but they are heterogeneous. Okay, visibility of if we talk about the dispersed particles are not at all visible, they just appear homogeneous. Colloidal particle, they can pass through ordinary filter papers, but retained by animal membrane or ultra filters. This is the third general property. The fourth one which we will study is lyophilic sols. In general, if we talk about, they are stable, but lyophobic sols, if we talk about, in absence of a substantial concentration, if we'll change the concentration, then they become unstable, otherwise they are also quite stable. And the color of the solid depends upon the size of the colloidal particles which they will scatter the light which will fall in the, if the particle size it is like that, and if the frequency or the wavelength it falls in the uh, like UV radiations and infrared, then it can appear, it can give color. Now colligative properties, yes, the colloidal particles also shows colligative properties like relative lowering in vapor pressure, elevation in boiling point. But see, the particles here in the colloidal state, they are in the form of aggregates. If they will aggregate, means the number of particles will become less. Yes, the colligative properties, they depend upon the number of particles, and a colloidal solution will exhibit much lower values of colligative property. This is just because of this aggregation. Only osmotic pressure, it is measured with a reasonable degree of accuracy, and from this osmotic pressure we can calculate out the molecular mass of the substance which is given. Now Brownian movement, these particles, they show Brownian movement. Brownian movement is haphazard motion of the particles, and this haphazard motion, it actually plays a very important role in the stability of a sol. Actually, what happens when the particles, they move, they start moving, the Brownian movement opposes the gravitational forces and acting upon the colloidal particle and prevent them from getting settled down. So they do not get settled because they keep on moving in a haphazard motion, and the gravitational force, it cannot act so much on these particles. That's why this Brownian movement, it prevents them from getting settled down. And Tyndall effect, if we talk about the particles of true solution, they are very small and they cannot scatter light which will pass through it. But the particles of these colloidal state or the sols, they are large enough to scatter the light, and the scattering of light is called Tyndall effect, and it can be done by the colloidal particles. So this was about the some properties. One more property is left, that will discuss in our next video. Thank you.